Hello, everyone, and welcome to the program. I'm Seun Okinbaloye in Lagos. Well, elections are moments of reckoning in some ways, a festival some political scientists would describe it. So we're counting down to the 2019 general elections, and it is 103 days to the opening of polls. So we at Channels Television have taken it upon ourselves to engage those who want to be elected, especially those gunning for the nation's #1 office. Tonight, we shall be engaging the candidate of the Alliance for New Nigeria, ANN, a man who has made a name for himself in public speaking, leadership trainings and development. Is described as one of the outsiders, a newcomer in the mainstream of Nigeria's politics. Mr. Fela Drutoye joins us tonight on the program. Thank you so much, Mr. Drutoye, for your time on the program today.
Thank you, Sean. It's great to be back here.
It's interesting. It's several months now that since when you first came out.
11 months to be exact.
So let's begin. We've seen a lot of stuff you said online about why you're a best man for the job. About 70 of you wants to be Nigeria's president this time around. You're perhaps one of the youngest for the 70 years. What makes you think that job, that role, you're best fit for it?
Well, let me say, what is the best, in the way I've always said it, is what is it that I am looking for in a president? And I hope that when I finish saying what I have to say, people would say, yes, that I find in you. So from time, what I've always looked for in a president is somebody who, first of all, inspires me to want to be a Nigerian and to know what it means to be a Nigerian. I believe that it's important for me to be able to have a clear idea of what it is that we are building as a nation and what part I have to play in building. I also want to know what kind of behavior is it that is required of me as a Nigerian to be able to build it. So in other words, I want to have a clear vision and I want to have a clear set of values that will help me. And then I want to be able to make sure that I have somebody who's clear what the priorities are, so that I know what it is that I'm also able to find a way to contribute. And more importantly, beyond just being able to clear the vision or to be able to state clearly what it is that we want to build, I'm looking for someone who has leadership competencies and the ability to draw the best people that will be able to lead in the various areas that need to be led in, especially in government. All right? And most importantly, and I think this is very important, the ability to understand what it takes for each of the people, and especially when I'm talking about is the private sector, what it takes for the private sector to start and grow whatever they do as businesses to be able to contribute together into building that thing that we're trying to build. So what I'm saying here is this. When I look for someone, I'm looking for somebody who has clear vision. I'm looking for somebody who has capacity. I'm looking for somebody who has character. And the character I can check from the way they have behaved before they were in government. When I look at that, I'm going to be looking for their values. Now, my vision is very clear.
Is that the kind of thing that an average Nigerian who is going to vote on the day of election is looking at?
Absolutely, because what else do they look for? You know, they usually say to me, who is the person that has the capacity to lead us into the place where we want to be? Who has the capacity to lead us out of this kind of mess that we're in? And it's very clear. It's either the people that put us in the mess and they can't lead us out of it, or the people who have what it takes, who have led something before.
Have you done something like that?
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's going to be a big question. If you have that kind of capacity, some of the issues or some of the things being taught in School of Governance basically is how you can lead the people, how you can inspire them. Some of the things that you have told us tonight. But the big question is the realities of those things beyond the classrooms.
I understand. And it's not beyond the classrooms when you turn a company that is making losses into profit. It's the same thing. There are many of the companies that we've worked with today that are just mini Nigerians. It's the same principles that work. So the same principles. The same principles that work in changing the culture of an organization is the same principles that will work in changing government. We like to sometimes think that it's different. And that's why we kind of feel like maybe we are more comfortable with people who have done it before. But then the question is, the people who have done it before, what have they done to give us what it is that we're constantly trying to change? So just take a look at it and say to yourself, which of the major parties or major players has not been involved in giving us the Nigeria today that we don't want? Are they the same people that we want to go back to ask them to change it? People don't change, Sean. People don't change. And if people can't change, then they can't really change things. But which means that if you go and empower the same people that have been empowered before, they will give you more of the country that you already have. What we need to do is to be trying to say, who is it that has ability and understanding with regards to what it takes to change the culture of an organization or a people? And that, for Seun, is what I do. That's what I've done for 25 years of my professional life. Changing culture, transforming culture, raising leaders, not only within a particular, governance, but actually raising the culture of leadership. I've done service excellence. This is what I have done not as a hobby, as a, people say public speaking. Public speaking has always been my hobby. It's not my job. My real job is transforming companies, transforming culture, and getting excellence into it. So, that's what we need to do right now.
When you came up with the agenda, the message of a new Nigeria, and that's what you said is what you're driving with. We've heard something similar to that. I mean, you remember the late Professor Dora Akunyili, may God rest her soul. She had said that she brought about a campaign about changing the narrative, the consciousness and the culture in many Nigerians about the way we behave and all that. It looks so much that it was just a message which perhaps didn't go too far. So Nigerians will say, okay, we've heard this before, new Nigeria. What exactly is the new Nigeria you're talking about?
Well, first of all, let me say that the new Nigeria is different from the old Nigeria, because today, the old Nigeria, only the people who have privilege or who have power are the ones that are given the privilege to enjoy the country and to live a decent life and to be able to. So if you don't have a generator, you can't have power. So that means the opportunities to power is not for all. A new Nigeria is a country where opportunities are bound for everyone, all. In other words, you can have power without having a generator. A new Nigeria is a place where you can be able to send your children and get good education from public schools without having to pay through your nose. A new Nigeria is where you can get health care without knowing a doctor, where you can send your children to school without knowing the teachers, and where you can get a job without having to know anybody there, because you have opportunities that are given to you by all. Now, let's be clear. A new Nigeria is like, I say to some people, it's like all the countries that we have always wanted to go. That's where we want to go for visas. Those are the kind of places we want to go and relocate. Those are the kind of places we want to go when to send our children for education. That's where we want to send our loved ones when they are really sick. That's the countries where things work. A place where there are opportunities for everybody. That it is not based on your religion, on man, no man, on your tribe, on where you are coming from. Look, a new Nigeria is the kind of place where each and every one can pursue happiness and be able to achieve success. That's
a dream that you have.
That is the dream that we have for Nigeria.
Let's talk a bit about the practicalities now of how this thing can happen. Have you researched, what have you found out about this present Nigeria, which you hope to change?
Okay. So one of the things that we found out about the present Nigeria is that the people who have had access to power are people who have ruled us, not led us. In other words, most of the time, they've never really had leadership. They've not had leadership experience. They've had either political experience. So they've come in with rulership mentality, not leadership mentality. Most of them have never run a business before. Most of them have never been able to succeed at one thing that they've done before. Most of the people who have ruled us, they have mostly just gone through a system. Most of them are military-based, and they were able to rise through a system that was not necessarily excellence or merit driven. It was based on who do you know and how do you know and what kind of, of course, as you know, many of them were also collaborators in coups. Okay, so that's how they got to the top. They didn't necessarily go to the top through a process of excellence and merit. That's one of the things that we've known. The second thing that we know is that Nigeria is such a blessed country. But we have not become a great nation simply because we have not been able to find a way to deliver the governance that will transform the resources that we have, which are bound all across the nation, into economic benefit for all. So when we talk about these opportunities for all, most of the communities in Nigeria have never really been able to contribute their own quota to the economic development of Nigeria, in part because they don't have power, they don't have infrastructure. Even the resources that they have, nobody is able to harness them and be able to package them and process them well so that they can even get bad value for that benefit. Right? So when you think about it, Nigeria is a country that is blessed, but we have not been able to turn it into a future.
And it brings me to the very point that